1, 2, 3, 4.
Country and Cold Cans. I'm Logan, sitting here with Trucker Andy out in the middle of Ohio. We're sitting here with Kyle, and also Classic Rock Carter is back today. So today we're kind of doing a semi-on-location in-person podcast for 3/4 of your Country and Cold Cans announce team right now. Kyle just has a badass brand new house that he is in the midst of moving into and getting it all prettied up for his fiance to move in. And soon he's going to be having a killer podcast studio in the basement of his. So congrats on that, Kyle.
Yeah, thank you, Logan.
And Carter is
You
here.
can't hide money.
I don't know why we invited Carter back, but Carter is back.
Well, you know, the ratings, Logan.
The ratings.
Classic Rock Carter brings in the ratings. Also, his basement's got a bar with the saloon doors on it, and that's pretty fucking awesome.
I mean, that is pretty cool. Like he does, he literally has a dry bar. And the thing is, the basement looks like it's at the bottom of the door is like the bottom of the stairs to go upstairs. It looks like it's a closet or maybe a bathroom. And then boom, you see this 1970s carpet and you go down this sick basement and he's got a dry bar and it has saloon doors.
It literally
Dry
looks
bar.
right out of that 70s show.
So
Too bad it's not a wet bar.
Fair enough.
I actually don't know the difference.
I really don't either. I think a dry bar is where you have bottles of liquor, and a wet bar is where you have like some type of taps, maybe. I don't know. I'm saying this. I'm pulling this out of my ass. I don't know. But anyway.
Other bottles of liquor.
Yeah, other bottles of liquor. And so, like, moving into the first thing we want to talk about, we have a brand new song from Koe Wetzel, and it's called Good Die Young. And I guess the question we have to answer on Country and Cold Cans right now is it awesome or is it just super awesome? Andy?
Top 5 best songs that he's put out.
I agree.
Which would be super awesome.
Now, to be fair, Koe has put out some songs, just to be, I guess, critical, that I don't think are that great, but I'm a big Koe Wetzel fan. But this one is, I agree, it's one of his best songs he's ever put out. It's like Andy brought up a good point about how the songwriting in this one is another level from what he has done in the past.
Yes. It's he generally puts out about 1 to 2 very well written songs per album, and this is just the first one off that's going to be off the new one.
Yeah, and I mean, look, most of his songs he doesn't really have many songs that are just outright bad, but most of his songs are just like concert bangers that fit to his kind of frat college age crowd. And Andy and I can attest, his concerts are a rowdy time.
Very rowdy.
Andy went from I'm not drinking tonight to double fisting double vodka tonics mighty quick.
Yeah, that happened.
He's like, yeah. But yeah, so Andy, if you want to kind of talk a little bit about the song, what you thought was good about it, because I know you have some thoughts prepared from the last discussion when you were last in North Carolina.
Yeah, one of the things that I really like about it too is that it's very similar to me, basically because of some lines to my favorite song of Koe Wetzel's, which is "Shadow People."
Right.
Is that I really like the certain lines where he does where Jesus calls and that whole thing in there, which is reminiscent of "Shadow People," which that's one of my favorite lines. I don't really know exactly why it's my favorite, but it just stands out to me as just killer. I really like the opening line too. Surprisingly, is that we talked about this the other week. I don't know what I don't know if it's double entendre or what.
Well,
what he says doesn't make sense.
The opening line is
with
ridiculous, but it's done in a funny way. You know what I mean? Because it says,
"Yeah,
I'm running around like a fish with my head cut off. I know it don't make much sense to me either." It's like the self-awareness of the stupid line makes it kind of funny. And also kind of like
it's the stupid line, and then, or like what he's saying too is that he's aware of that what he's doing also doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
the double meaning of it. The line doesn't make sense, and also him running around like an idiot also doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and like you said, to your point about in the first verse where it was talking about like Jesus called and I wasn't there. He left a message on my answering machine. Just tell me how much he cared. It's like it shows his roots in like, you know, like his Baptist bones, as he said in Fuss and Fight. His roots that he's kind of ran away from a little bit, but he knows that is the right way for him to go back to, but he just hasn't done it because he's kind of in a bad spot. Like I think with this upcoming, so like most people probably already know, but he announced that he has a new album coming out, I believe November 20th. And it's funny, ironically called Sellout, because it's his first album on a mainstream label on Columbia Records, I believe. And he said that a lot of these songs were things that he was going through and felt at the time that he was writing it. It wasn't like he was just trying to write songs for an album. It was things that he had actually experienced. And that stuck out to me because of the second verse. The second verse, I think, is something that a lot of people have felt, but him, the way he phrased it really fits Koe Wetzel and the Koe Wetzel brand that he's built for himself. It's where he says, like, so called the doctor, run for the hills. He's going insane. He ran out of pills. He can't be saved. He's too far gone. And then the next line in this is where I think it really ties it together. He goes, maybe I'm really alone. It's like, maybe I'm actually doing all this crazy stuff and I'm doing all these drugs and drinking and rock and roll lifestyle because I'm really alone. It's like there's some self-awareness and there's some depth to it that isn't always there in songs like February 28th, 2016. This song kind of has a little bit more meat to it. It's not just all sizzle.
And then the lines right before that where it does I terrorize everything in my eyes. And it's hard to something about love everything when the only thing that I love is me. It goes back into the selfishness aspect that he writes about a lot as well.
Yeah, I agree. You guys have anything you want to
add? Once again, it's not classic rock, so classic rock Carter does not dabble in such things.
Yeah, but it's Texas rock.
Yeah, well,
but your name's not Texas rock.
My name is not Texas rock Carter. My name is classic rock Carter.
To be honest with you, no, I don't, because I think you two just pretty much broke it down extremely well.
Yeah, you two did a very good job dissecting the aspects of the song.
Andy and I have had this conversation before when he was in Raleigh the other week. So
you didn't left much.
And it also
go ahead, Andy.
It also sounds awesome.
Yeah, it sounds kick ass, rock and roll, man. But go ahead.
What I will add is when you compare it to country and western and Sunday or Monday, I do think it follows Andy's line of thought that those two are just more in the line of a concert song that you just see people just get rowdy to singing the chorus. And this one is much better song through and through.
Easily.
All three of them still slap, but
no, I mean, to your point, as people like to say on Zoom calls when they're at work, to piggyback off of Kyle's point, he's spot on with that, because country and western specifically is definitely just a concert song. Because that song, I like it. Don't get me wrong, but it's nonsense, and it's like he screams for a third of the song at the end, going. So I mean, like, look, it's in a vacuum, it's not that great of a song, but it's going to work well in concert. And I think that's the weakest one of the three is released. And then second would be Sunday or Monday, because Sunday or Monday has a little bit of a story to it, but not as much as Good Die Young. Good Die Young is when Koe kind of has that rock sound, but he dives into some elements of personal demons that he has and things that he's feeling, like when it comes to loneliness and being out on the road. And when he dives into that stuff and he leans into it, like he does here with Good Die Young, that's where I think he's at his best. And what was it, Andy? Shadow People. He did that on that one.
Yeah.
You brought up, you kind of pointed the link between those two songs. That's where Koe is at his best. But it's still Koe Wetzel. He still is, rock and roll Texas guy. His concerts have a reputation at this point, and he's going to have some country and westerns thrown in there because the folks are just going to get rowdy and, pretty much have a mosh pit with a bunch of people in cowboy boots.
Western shirts, and then you pretty much painted the perfect picture.
Yeah. Well, in Texas, his North Carolina and Virginia shows didn't have a whole lot of Western shirts. I think you were the only one.
Nah, Clint was wearing a cowboy hat.
Yeah, well, that's because Clint thought he was a country singer before he went to the show.
He thought he was at a George Strait show.
Yeah.
That comes in whenever he's 30.
What was funny was, even funnier than the Koe show, that last December at the Ritz, me and Clint went to a Tyler Childers show. Tyler Childers is country's cornbread, but Tyler Childers is more hill country. He's more Appalachia. And Clint shows up all dudded out in his Western stuff and his cowboy hat. And he's like, why is no one wearing a cowboy hat? I was like, because it's Tyler Childers. He goes, yeah, exactly. It's Tyler Childers. I was like, no, it's Tyler Childers. He's Appalachia. He ain't, Western rodeos. It ain't Cody Johnson. But yeah, I mean, so far, I'm impressed by what he has. I think it's going to be a good record. I mean, I think there's going to be some more weaker tracks that'll probably work well in a live setting. And then I expect some, I think that his fourth record. So
yes, sir.
I think we're going to expect to see some growth in Koe Wetzel as a songwriter, and it should be on display in his upcoming, ironically titled album Sellout. But yeah, that kind of wraps up the Koe Wetzel talk for right now, unless you have anything to add, Andy.
No, sir.
All right, switching gears here on Country and Cold Cans into our next segment. We had a topic that's not really music related in the slightest bit, but we want to talk about it because we had this conversation, and this is something Classic Rock Carter can jump in on because he may not know anything about roots music, but he knows something about cheeseburgers. And we want to talk about what is our favorite fast food cheeseburger? Because there's a lot of, depending on where you're from and depending on your personal taste, there's a lot of different type of, debate about this. So, Carter, I guess if you want to start it off, what do you think what's something that you would nominate as the best?
Well, before we get into that, let's trim these rules down a little bit more than what we've done here. So when we say fast food burger, we mean a place that has a drive-through.
Yeah, fast casual don't count.
Fast casual don't count. So we're not including Five Guys.
Yeah, Five Guys is out.
Five Guys is out. Don't even put Five Guys in there. It's not that great anyway if you don't.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
You're full of shit.
We're already here. We're already here.
This guy's a communist.
We're already here. We are only including fast food stuff, and you have to remember that some of us have a lot different experiences of restaurants than others. It's like for somebody like me, I've lived in the Southeast my entire life. I have no concept of Whataburger, In-N-Out, Jack in the Box, places like that don't really exist in North Carolina.
It's a pretty easy concept. It's a bun with some meat in the middle of it.
And if you're feeling frisky, you put some cheese and some other stuff.
All right, smart asses.
I mean, look, Carter's already devalued his opinion with his communist drivel about how Five Guys isn't any good.
Look, all right.
Carter, I would like to interject. Any place that has a grilled cheese on the menu is instantly good. So your opinion of Five Guys is immediately thrown out.
Look. This is not the grilled cheese debate. This is the burger debate.
It's the fast food burger debate.
It's the fast food burger debate.
But if we were going to make a rule about not talking about fast casual, which I agree with, you didn't need to editorialize and add in your trash-ass opinion that Five Guys isn't good.
Look, I don't want the viewers coming in and being like, well, why didn't any of you say Five Guys? Well, Five Guys is not a fast food place.
I agree with that.
That's the one that everybody goes to when they say
I agree.
Restaurant burger. They go Five Guys, especially if they're in the Southeast and they're not experienced.
If we have any listeners that are wrestling fans, this is Carter's moment where he just made a heel turn because of his
look. We're getting the wrestling episode somewhere down the line. Okay, one of these days it's going to happen.
Now, Carter, since you are editorializing all these rules, we are just specifically talking the burger, not the combo.
Just the burger.
Just the burger.
Not the side. Just the burger.
No sides. Okay. Not the fries.
Sides are out.
Not every other item on the menu.
Just the burger.
We're just talking about their burgers.
Okay.
Not the restaurant. The burger by itself.
The burger by itself, not the restaurant.
Itself, yes,
you can't pick Culver's because you like the custard, Andy. It's got to be burger alone.
Yeah, don't go picking Cookout just because you like their milkshakes or because the tray is a really good deal.
No, what I was saying is some places fries make the burger experience better comparative to other restaurants.
That is fair. That is a very fair point.
So we're
doing the burger on its own.
The burger, and it has to have a drive-through because it has to be fast food. Fast casuals out, sides are out. Any type of accoutrements, as they would say, to add to the burger out. It's just strictly the burger.
Yes.
Now that we have the rules set forth, let's go with Carter. What do you propose is your terrible opinion of what's the best burger?
Well, considering this is a place that pretty much any Southerner over the age of probably 55 enjoys going to every chance they get, and I do too, honestly, it's Wendy's. Wendy's has a very good burger. I don't know what the deal is with the Wendy's burger. They're square. They're kind of flat.
But they're square, you get more meat.
You do get more meat.
You're never going to get a Wendy's burger where you're not going to see the meat.
Exactly.
Because you're never going to be saying, where's the beef?
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. They had a damn good catchphrase in the 80s with that. And if I have to narrow it down to one burger on the menu, it's the Baconator. The bacon. All right. I've lost y'all again. I've lost you again. I love the Baconator. I love being
just for everybody listening who doesn't know, Carter is by far the skinniest dude on this podcast and can barely eat a quarter of what the rest of us can eat. So keep that in mind when you're listening to his opinions on food.
I'm 150 pounds soaking wet with a brick in my pocket. And probably have the palate of like a 10-year-old, but it's the Baconator.
I'm not going to argue with on that.
Yeah. Now, okay, so let me just dive into this for a second because I can agree with Carter that Wendy's has a top-tier fast food burger. I prefer the Dave's Double. I'm not a big Baconator guy, but the Dave's Double slaps. The Dave's Double, you get 2 of the square patties that, like I said, you're never going to say where's the beef because the beef's freaking there. And you got 2 double patties. You get some onion on it. You get some ketchup. You get some cheese. I'm telling you what, it's elite. It's elite. Wendy's is also remarkably consistent with the quality of their burger. It's not going to be hit or miss. Like one thing I do criticize Cookout for, as much as I love Cookout and anybody from North Carolina is familiar with it, Cookout sometimes their burger is fantastic, and then other times it's burnt to a freaking crisp.
They burn it.
Often. Wendy's is consistent.
I wasn't going to put Cookout in this conversation because of that. It's too dicey if you're going to get a good burger or not.
Yeah,
it's so dicey to the point I don't even get burgers there anymore. I get barbecue sandwiches because I'm just not willing to take the risk.
That's absolutely. I love Cookout, and I love the fact that I can go there and I can get a ton of food for real cheap. But I'm probably not going to get a burger because, as y'all say,
I still eat plenty of the burgers.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, the Big Double Burger is very good. And I love slathering chili and cheese on their burgers. But y'all make the very good point of they almost it's
inconsistent.
It's like a coin flip whether or not you're going to get a burger that you're mostly just going to taste ash because they've charred it to a crisp.
Ash or ass?
Ash.
You ever tasted ash?
I mean, I've had it in my mouth before around fires, but
all right.
I tasted the other thing too, but that's another story.
All right.
All right, Carter.
All right, Kyle. On that note, what do you think is the best fast food burger?
Now, Carter, you were on a good track when you said Wendy's, and then you just totally devalued your opinion with the bacon.
Look,
now I am going to go in a similar vein. It's Sonic. Yes, they are incredibly consistent. Now, our Wendy's in my hometown is phenomenal. And most Wendy's throughout the Southeast that I've been to are remarkably consistent. However, I have never had a bad experience with Sonic, ever. And their double is phenomenal.
I agree that Sonic is consistent, but I also don't think that it's quite to the level of, say, a Wendy's, or I'm sure Andy and I have another place we're going to mention, so I'm going to hold off and let him talk. But I think the Sonic burger is good. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's as good as some other alternatives.
No,
Sonic would I like Sonic.
I do too. I like Sonic.
Yeah.
I will add a caveat. The best fast food burger I've ever had, but I can't fully give my opinion on it, is Whataburger. I've only had it one time. So I don't think that's a fair.
Yeah. Speaking of Whataburger, what is your favorite fast food burger, Andy?
Mine's going to be not what you think it's going to be, but it's going to be In-N-Out.
In-N-Out. Okay. Where did you eat that
at? California, Arizona, several places.
Now, do you know the Thousand Island dressing they put on it? I believe that's what it is, isn't it?
It's called.
I'm gonna guess In-N-Out.
I don't know what it's called. I don't. No, I think it's called animal sauce.
Yeah. Most of these restaurants that have like a restaurant name sauce, a Zax sauce, a Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yeah.
It's some form of Thousand Island dressing.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. I just plain quality of the beef is just superior to all the other fast food places.
Let's dive into this for a second, Andy, because you and I had a minor disagreement about what you mean when you say quality of insert meat here, whether it's barbecue or beef. Does that mean you just like it better, or the quality of beef is actually better?
The quality tastes like it's better. I assume that it is better. I'm not a scientist. I don't know if it was a good cow or not. It tastes like it was a good cow. I don't raise cows. I don't think the cow had diseases. It tastes like it was actually a cow, not a quarter cow, half that plant and a third that plant.
It's not Burger King where they serve you horse meat.
Hoof and mouth adds to the flavor, Andy. You should try it.
So I guess for mine that I'm going to say, because like I tend to give the edge to a Wendy's, but Carter's already went over on Wendy's, and Kyle mentioned what I think is a good 1B. And I've had it 3 times, so I feel like I can speak on it a little bit, but not with the same authority that people, obviously in Texas and Oklahoma and that area can. But Whataburger has a fantastic burger. The way I always describe Whataburger burgers to people in North Carolina is imagine a Sonic burger, but better. And it's bigger.
Yes.
Yeah. And Whataburger is like most everything out there. I think it's probably the whole cliche. Everything's bigger than in Texas. They really do kind of buy into that at Whataburger, and their burger is a similar style to Sonic's, but I think it's a top tier version of a Sonic burger. I
agree with you, and that's where I would put In-N-Out. For me, In-N-Out would be first, then it'd be Whataburger. Sonic is my 4th. My 3rd is going to be something y'all probably haven't had, A&W, like the root beer, but the restaurant. It's like the same as the.
I've heard of it.
I've heard of K&W.
You know
the root beer?
Don't get a burger at K&W.
You know the root beer brand A&W?
Not really. I don't know root beer.
That's the only A&W.
I prefer a real beer like a man, Carter.
Root beer is too bitter. But it's A&W root beer is the only thing from their brand that has penetrated the Southeast, really.
Yeah.
They actually have a restaurant chain in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Their burger is very similar to Sonic's, but to me, the cheese just isn't quite as like rubbery, I guess, as Sonic's. And that's the only reason I put it above Sonic. It's a Sonic style burger.
The cheese wasn't as rubbery?
Yeah. If sometimes at Sonic, their cheese can be a little like rubbery, kind of seems like kind of fake-ish cheese. But that's the only reason I'm putting it above Sonic, because it's still a Sonic style burger.
Yeah. So Kyle, when you had Whataburger when we were down in Texas, what did you get on your burger?
Now, when Carter said he had the taste buds of a 10-year-old, I have one of a 5-year-old. I don't like anything on a burger other than cheese and chili. So make fun of me all you want. I've always been. So I just got cheese.
Just cheese?
Yes. Phenomenal. Ate the whole thing.
I think that's all I got on mine too, though.
The double. I believe it was a double.
I don't even remember.
Enormous burger. And I am on the other end of the spectrum compared to Carter. And I was full as could be after that. I was a happy camper.
Yeah, I do remember when we were in Austin. Carter wasn't there. Andy couldn't make it. The first day, everybody was hungry, and we had all flown somebody in a car. Like a bunch of guys, y'all like took an Uber to the freaking Wendy's while we were in Texas. And I was like, I'm not going to Wendy's. I can get Wendy's at home. So I got like Uber Eats to bring me some Whataburger, and I ate that, and everybody was like, oh, what's that? I was like, oh, trust me, we're going to go here before we leave town.
That Wendy's in Austin, Texas was the worst Wendy's on the face of the planet.
Oh, God.
It didn't deserve the badge of Wendy's.
Oh, Lord.
What was it that your buddy used to call Wendy's?
Oh, freckle bitches. Yeah, Wendy's is freckle bitches.
Oh, man. But yeah, I mean, so let's kind of recap what we got here. We got Wendy's, obviously, Whataburger, In-N-Out, and Sonic. Is there anything that's worth mentioning other than that? Because, look, I ain't gonna lie to you. McDonald's has a decent burger, but it's not a good burger. Burger King is terrible.
You get your money's worth at You get your money's worth at McDonald's. You don't go to McDonald's because you want a 5-star meal. You go to McDonald's because you have $5 in your pocket, and
I'm not talking about the dollar burgers. Those are garbage. I'm talking about the actual quarter pounder at McDonald's.
I mean, I'm not going to turn my head to a McDouble, but I mean,
the quarter pounder
it's not worth talking about. What now?
The quarter pounder did get better recently when they updated it or whatever. That is significantly better than it used to be.
Yeah, especially when they were doing that promotion for the Cactus Jack burger, the Travis Scott burger. Cactus Jack sent you. It's lit.
Yeah. Bang, bang.
Wrong Cactus Jack, Carter.
Or do you know who Travis Scott is?
No.
When I said Cactus Jack, Carter's mind went to Mick Foley and professional wrestling.
Look, classic rock is just
that's what I thought.
The 90s. It's 20 to 25 years ago. I'm just getting into 90s music, okay? I just learned who the Killers were the other day, all right?
Did you really?
No.
I was about to be like, how have you?
It's a bit, Logan.
All right.
But I will agree with you. Burger King is garbage. And this is coming from somebody that worked at a Burger King.
Carter was the original Burger King MC at the exit 168 I-95 Burger King that's connected to a gas station. Carter was like the king of Burger King for a little while.
What he's not telling you is he was the guy they put in the king costume. Exactly.
I wish I'd have loved to have had the king costume. I would have wore that thing everywhere, that creepy mask. But no, I worked front register.
Instead, he just had his creepy face. Totally a joke, Carter. It's not. Carter doesn't have a creepy face.
Damn.
And just he teed that one up for me.
Shit.
I had to take a swing.
But it
punch landed.
That was 2010, 2011 when I worked there. And I couldn't eat Burger King for years afterward. I've gotten to the point where I can eat the fries again and I can eat like the chicken items again. I still can't eat the burgers. The burgers are not great unless they've updated them since like 2010, 2011, which I think they might have.
Carter used to get mad when people wouldn't tip him at a Burger King.
Hey, what? They don't tip at fast food restaurants. What are you talking about?
Andy, you remember that story, don't you? He's like, I don't tip waitresses because nobody tipped me at Burger King.
No, I'm pretty sure that's not what I said. I'm pretty sure I said I didn't tip because I didn't have a whole lot of money to begin with.
Cheap bastard.
I am cheap. I'm cheap as fuck.
Oh, man, we're definitely gonna have to throw the explicit label on this because of Carter.
You are.
Carter's talking about eating ass and dropping the F word.
This is definitely an 18. This is an 18 plus podcast today, boys and girls.
What's that, Andy?
And his tip.
Carter's
talked about his tip more than once.
I know.
Carter, when we get off there, I want to know that ass eating story.
We'll get into that. But yes, Burger King's work, unless they've changed it in the past 10 years.
I've lost control of this episode.
You absolutely did.
And I love it.
It is 100% off the rails at this point. But yes, Burger King sucks unless they've changed their formula up in the past decade, which they might have. I think they have. But their burgers used to have a lot of the issues that that Cookout does, and that their char griller. Some people would
char griller.
Yeah,
is that like so? Since you have back end knowledge of the Burger King biz, is that like the name that y'all would call? Hey, get it to the char griller.
Well, they just call it the grill. But what Burger King?
So this was your own like kind of
no. Burger King advertises that their burgers are char grilled.
Okay,
but the thing that they do is it's essentially you just have this like.
Weren't you in charge of cleaning the toilets?
They made me do that from time to time. And there's some terrifying stories there, but we're not going to get into those today. I pretty much was in charge of the front register and then anything else my manager told me to do. I did inventory in the freezer. I washed dishes.
Inventory in the freezer. What does that even mean?
You go in the back and you go, all right, we have this many buns. We have this many patties left.
So you were
SpongeBob.
This
many pickles. Yes. I was essentially
yes, I
was both at the same time, except they just didn't want me working the back line because I was too slow. I was more focused on quality of the food over the quantity or over the speed that I got it produced with.
The what? Run that by me again there.
I was more worried about the quality of the food I was putting together. Like I wanted to make sure they had enough ketchup or mayo.
You built the burgers too, but so if you built
no, I did that day one, and then they never let me do it again.
So, wait a minute, how did you mess that up?
Because I didn't do it fast enough.
We know Carter can't read. So.
No. I was too I always hate when you go to a fucking fast food restaurant and you're like, I want ketchup on my burger, and there's like this fucking little like penny-sized dollop of ketchup like on the left side of your burger and the rest of it is dry. I was like, I'm going to give them ketchup all across
on the burger. top of the burger.
I'm not going to drown it in ketchup, but I'm going to at least make it know there's fucking ketchup on the burger.
Carter, I think we've opened a really sore wound.
Yes. I think we did.
Yes.
But you know what I like to do when we open sore wounds is pour some freaking salt on it.
You like to pick at them. You have ripped this scab off and you're still just digging.
So yeah, this is Carter, the original Burger King MC, the king of Burger King, and the chief toilet cleaner. Oh, he was fired from building burgers because he was too slow.
I was too slow. They were like, "You ain't doing this again. You're man in front register."
So you really were Squidward.
I was Squidward. Yes, I was Squidward. And then I occasionally did some SpongeBob jobs.
Did you say I'm ready?
No, I never did say I'm ready. Though because my name sounds like two last names, one of the girls there called me Ricky Bobby because instead of having two first names, I had two last names. I know that makes no sense. It's not
Carter's a
funny at
first name and a last name.
yes, but Rick's is only a last name.
Yeah.
So they were like, I have two last names.
That's just a stupid.
She was dumb anyway. She worked at a Burger King full time.
Damn,
So did you.
There's nothing wrong with working at a Burger King full time. You elitist fuck.
Oh, that first joke you tried to make didn't land at all.
I know.
If we had enough money on this show to have a soundboard, I would have hit the crickets after that one. Speaking of money, go to oakcitydrifters.com/shop and make sure you pick up one of our brand new Country and Cold Cans koozies. They are $5 and we will send it to you. You won't even have to pay shipping and handling. But that again is oakcitydrifters.com/shop and pick up a Country and Cold Cans koozie. All right, back to Carter with his Burger King.
Are we still on Burger King?
I don't know at this point. This has been just a haphazard. Let's just shoot off the hip, and I actually kind of like it. It's kind of funny.
Are we still doing worst burgers? Fast food?
Okay, yeah, let's do worst burgers. Since Burger King was in
because
that.
you and I have already said Burger King.
Yeah.
Kyle and Andy, any thoughts on worst fast food
Worst
burger?
fast food burgers.
I know some of you mentioned McDonald's at one point.
Yeah, McDonald's is pretty bad. I don't know if you've ever had a burger from. I'll say this: if you go to a restaurant inside of a gas station, I'm not talking about like franchisees. I'm talking general. If you go there and it's like a Sheetz grill, no.
Okay.
I'm not referring to, and I live in rural northeastern North Carolina. There's a lot of gas station grills that make some of the best food
I got ready to say
you will ever eat.
Andy and I just ate some baller barbecue the other week from a gas station.
I've had a phenomenal burger from a gas station grill in the Sandhills in Hoffman, North Carolina, out in the middle of nowhere. It was great.
Now, when you walk in, the place is filthy.
Yes.
No, yeah, you can't look at the floors or the windowsills.
No, they make phenomenal food.
Yes.
It's like going to, what was the place in town here, 2nd Street? Yeah, don't look at the windowsills.
No, or the floors.
Or the floors. Or just anything but your food. Don't look at it. Andy, worst burger?
Worst burger.
Other than the really crappy ones that... Wait, you weren't there that year. I made some really bad burgers when it was raining on July 4th one time.
Nobody it's probably not the worst, but nobody goes to White Castle to get a good burger.
Nobody goes to White Castle, period, because it's garbage.
No, they go at like 3 or 4 in the morning when they're drunk and there's nothing else open.
Probably when they're high, because it's the only way people can eat that.
That's true.
Think that, it's
that was always the thing.
Nobody's going there because it's good.
Yeah. So White Castle is the worst one you've had? Because you've had extensively more food and fast food than we have because of your lifestyle.
Most burgers tend to be average. Burgers are kind of hard to make bad.
Well, if a burger's hard, they are bad.
That's true.
It's
hard to really screw one up. So most tend to be average at worst.
Fair.
Trying to think of something else.
I mean, talking about fast food, I guess like it does kind of limit it because based on what you've had and where you live and whatnot. But we've kind of covered the bases on all that.
All right. So one more topic I just want to get across. We've done best fast food. Just best.
So we're just changing the rules as we go.
No. Just changing the topic. Just kind of going to a different topic.
Carter Logan runs the show.
I'm aware he does.
Just like
but he's just like, I don't know what the next topic's going to be.
Carter's mad about the Burger King clip now, so he's trying to change the subject. Go on and say it.
So,
I cede my time to the congressman from Halifax.
Technically Darlington, but
whatever.
All right,
the hell.
Whatever. Or whatever my township's name is out in the middle of nowhere, but best burger you had from anywhere.
The Wagyu burger at Capitol Grill in North Hills and Raleigh.
All right. Like Wagyu beef?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wagyu and wine. They do it every year when it's non-COVID times, and they have a special where you get a glass of red wine and a gourmet burger, and it is top tier.
Ooh. I've always heard good things about Wagyu beef.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Carter's going to get us canceled for all his comments.
The best burger I've ever eaten was at the Wynn in Las Vegas. I don't know what beef it was. It was a quite expensive burger.
No.
Which everything in Las Vegas is expensive, but
true enough.
It was a half-pound burger with a brioche bun.
Ooh.
Yes, absolutely phenomenal. I don't even know what the restaurant was, but
Kyle was probably under the influence.
Yes.
All right, Andy, best burger you've ever had.
I'm just going to have to stick with In-N-Out because I don't like fancy burgers.
Dude, that's lame as
You
shit.
gotta be fancy.
Fast food. If I'm eating a burger, I want a fast
Uncultured
food
swine.
burger. I want a fast food burger or I don't want a burger.
Andy's like, all I need is a fast food burger and a lot lizard.
And I'm good to
A
go.
baggie of cocaine.
Just for everyone to know, Andy does not partake with lot lizards or cocaine, but he does eat a lot of fast food.
D-Bear?
So,
Oh, I already said
You already
mine.
said it.
So the one in Capitol Grill in
Oh,
Northfield.
yes.
Yeah.
so for me, it's Cosmic Carryout in Sylvan, North Carolina, directly beside
That's not a real
Innovation
place.
Brewing. Oh, it is absolutely. I love they have a Western burger there that is barbecue sauce, fried onions, and jalapenos, and bacon. And it is a delicious burger. Even my vegan friends said that they had a fantastic veggie burger. And you never hear anyone say that veggie
Can
burgers are
vegans
good.
eat veggie burgers?
Yes, they can. If
They're not
ask,
real vegans.
They ask the guy to clean the grill off first, and then they can eat it.
Carter, seriously, do you think the guy cleaned the grill off?
Probably not, and they probably have
No.
to make a few concessions.
That's
with
probably
it, but
why they liked it, because it had all the actual meat juices on the veggie shit.
maybe.
Veggie burger?
I don't know.
Veggie burger is a funny way to spell salad.
It's just a compact salad when you think
Basically, what their burger consisted of is what our burger ate.
about it. Yeah.
I mean, when you think about a veggie burger, it's almost compost.
Yeah,
I mean,
in a lot of ways, yeah.
you're not wrong, but I mean, I'm never going to eat one. Maybe unless it's like one of those Beyond Burgers. I maybe want to try those.
Nah, I'm not. I'm out on that.
Nah.
It's a lot of sodium. The calories are not anywhere.
Yeah, no, it's no better good for you. But
If there's no health benefits, then why are you going to eat one of those hippie shit burgers? Like, no,
Logan used to get them before he found out that it was fake.
I didn't know what it was, man.
Logan's like, yeah, you should try this Beyond sausage sometime. It's pretty good. It's like, that's plants, right? He's like, no, it's sausage. There's no plants on it.
I did not know what Beyond sausage was. I thought it was like, all right, sausage is on it. Let's get it.
So the point of it is that they've essentially extracted the proteins from like all these plants and stuff. And yeah, I know, Mr. Science Man over here. I could go even more into detail about it. I could give a biology lesson here on the Country and Cold Cans podcast, but I'm not going to do that. Essentially, they extract the proteins from plants that mimic the ones in meat. So you're not eating like tofu or some crap like that. You're eating the proteins from plants that mimic the ones that are in meat. So it tastes like meat. And we don't have to deal with all the...
Wait, plants mimic meat?
The proteins in them can. You can
like-
modify them like, through science and shit.
That sounds like something that's going to cause cancer.
Yeah,
And maybe. But I mean, it's the same way that people were like, hey, vaping's good for you. And then they've like 10 years down the line, we realize, oh yeah, vaping's just as bad or worse than cigarettes.
That's not true.
Whatever.
It's not just as bad or worse than cigarettes.
My facts don't
Carter's like, my facts, not the facts. He's like, my facts.
Look, I'm the one with the science, the biology degree around here.
Well,
Okay,
You haven't graduated. So
that's true.
I got one. I got a 4-year.
Well,
It's in wildlife.
I'm a
but it's a
social
bio degree.
I'm a social scientist by profession, so I can tell when you're being a bullshitter.
Well, fuck off.
But one last
Carter,
point on burgers. Go ahead, Andy.
Carter, your science answer was, well, whatever. That's obviously bullshit science.
Yeah. One last point on burgers, and I'll let you guys comment if you want, and then we can move on to our next topic. But unpopular opinion, hot take for me, bacon ruins a burger.
Ooh, no. I love bacon on a burger.
If bacon dominates the taste, then you really don't. It's like putting creamer and sugar in your coffee. You really don't like coffee.
No, I have to disagree. I've had bacon on a burger Bacon on a burger exemplifies the taste of meat, especially if it's
How can you taste anything but the bacon?
Because there's more on it than how much bacon are you putting on your burgers, D-Berry?
I mean, whenever you put the damn bacon on there, it's all you damn taste.
I completely disagree. I think bacon does a very good job complementing the taste of the burger. It works especially with
enough of your nonsense. Andy, Kyle, what do y'all think?
I'll take the middle of the road. I think it can be overwhelming on some burgers, but I think you also can do it right. So I don't really agree or disagree.
No. Andy?
Bacon it's okay, but I'm in between you and Kyle on this one. I'm not big on bacon burgers. I rarely get one. I'll get one occasionally, not big on it. Burgers should have cheese and ketchup for the gold standard, but I'm also on what Kyle said. Chili is a great condiment that should go on burgers because it's basically ground up burger that you just put on more burger.
Now, we don't have time today, but there's a big argument in Texas on what exactly is chili.
Oh, boy.
Beans go in it. I don't give a fuck what they say.
Yeah, I agree. Beans go in chili.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unless it's on hot dog. No beans is hot dog chili. Beans is eating chili.
And there's a big difference between chili that's a condiment and chili that you eat by itself.
That's fair. I will agree there.
And just to bring
chili condiment, no beans. Everything else, beans.
Bring it full circle so we can move on to the next topic. Wendy's has really good chili.
Yes, they do, because it's their old burgers. And if their burgers are good, their chili is going to be good.
So we circled that one back and brought it full circle. All right, enough of the burger talk. Next up, one thing we wanted to cover, because this is actually kind of music related. Lately, we saw that Morgan Wallen and Chase Rice, two guys in the mainstream, have made comments about how they think it's time to get back to doing concerts of some variety. Not necessarily being full on, like it was pre-COVID, but in some socially distanced, mask required manner, maybe lesser capacity, because their argument was, we have families and crew members and people that need to put food on the table. And if college kids can jump the railings and have 100 or a few thousand people storming the field on college football, and if people who are supporting a political candidate can gather in the streets as they did to celebrate for President-elect Biden outside of the White House, then we should be able to have concerts because, there wasn't any socially distanced celebrations there. So what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, we should have concerts. Easy. BJ Barnum's putting on a show. If he's putting on a show, what's stopping anybody else from having a show?
Yeah, I believe his are like distance tables because BJ is going to be a little bit more careful than some of the other folks.
Parker and Koe have been having shows for like a month now.
That's in Texas, though. I mean, the rest of the country ain't really doing that. But what were you going to say, Kyle?
I tend to agree with them. I really don't see any justification why they couldn't do. Look at Cross Creek in Raleigh. I believe it's still Cross Creek, isn't it?
What are you talking about? The amphitheater?
Yeah, the one they had somewhere.
Walnut Creek.
Excuse me.
Coastal Credit Union, I believe, is what it's called, at Walnut Creek.
I don't see any reason why. I don't know what the capacity is. They couldn't do that at half capacity. It's outdoors.
Yeah,
you can easily distance and just close the seating area off.
Yeah,
up front, just have lawn seats. I don't see a reason why not.
Yeah, Carter.
I agree, especially in an outdoor environment. An indoor environment, I think if you had if you just weren't at full capacity and you were enforcing social distancing, fair enough, have a concert. I mean, as long as we're not pulling like what they were doing at Sturgis and they were like packing people all the way up to the stage and stuff like that, just be smart about it. Like we don't have to completely stop everything, but we have to be smart about what we are doing. We can't just say everything's closed or everything's open. You have to be smart about it, and you have to go with what the science is saying. You have to go what the science is saying at the time.
Whatever.
What's going on? I've really shown just how much of a scientist I am today.
Carter's like, listen to the science. Whatever.
But it's one of those things where I think some businesses and aspects of life are getting the short end of the stick with COVID when they absolutely could be opened up just fine.
Yeah.
and others are giving a little too much leeway.
Yeah. I think they 100% should get back to doing some form of concerts, like to kind of agree with what you guys are saying. Like if it's, there's no excuse for not having some type of like socially distanced half capacity or some variation like that to be able to get back, because these people need to make money. Like the music industry has taken a big hit. I mean, this isn't just about lining the pockets of people who are rich and can make it through. Like most people in the music scene that we tend to lean towards here on Country and Cold Cans, they're not independently ultra wealthy people. They rely on touring to make money and put food on the table for their family. It's not just the artist either. It's like to provide for the bandmates, provide for the crew that runs the show and like gets them place to place. Like these people have families they have to take care of. And I guess my whole thing is I get frustrated with the media, because if the media is we need to have some consistency. If it's not okay for concerts to be together and they get ripped for that, it shouldn't be okay for college football fans to gather on the field. And it shouldn't be okay for people who are happy about, their preferred candidate getting elected, gathering with no distancing and dancing all around and yelling and everything, like in celebrating. And look, good for them. Let them, like, they should celebrate, but do it in a responsible manner. But the way the media covers those two instances versus a person who wants to put on a concert to be able to make money for their family is utterly ridiculous. Like I just want some consistency from that, because some people get shamed and some people get a pass. It just depends on what your, I guess, affiliation is, whether it's sports and politics. Sure, it's all good. People in the music industry, no, it's bullshit.
If it wasn't so late on a school night, I was going to go to a show Thursday night.
Oh yeah? Who were you going to say?
Yeah, Logan Myers. He was playing at 7:30 and 9:30, but 7:30 was sold out and 9:30 was a little late for a start time on a school night.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Kyle?
All I was going to say is there really is no such thing as an essential and non-essential worker. Every job is essential to someone.
Exactly.
So
Facts.
I think we need to think about that concept.
Yeah. And I think we're at a point, with all of this, we need to be responsible. We need to follow the data and the science. Like I 100% agree. But this isn't going anywhere.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Not the classic Rock Carter science.
Yeah, actual science. But the thing is, we're at a point where it's not like it's going to magically just go away if you lock down for 6 weeks. It's not like it's going to magically go away if you open up the floodgates. Like we need to have a responsible approach of risk mitigation, but allow people to get back to work, allow people to make money, allow people to be able to provide for their families. Like too much of this has been politicized by people on both sides of the aisle that they forgot about the forgotten man and woman in America who need to make money to put food on the table. Not everyone has the ability and the privilege to be able to sit back and lock down and, be able to make ends meet. It's bullshit that people forget about the working class man and woman. And that's, I guess, all I'm going to say about that. But anyways, does anyone have anything else to say about the concert thing?
I believe I've said what I said.
I've said what I've said. Whatever.
Well said.
Yeah. So, but we do have some, I believe we're going to have some, I'm looking forward to the new Koe record coming out in November. Andy, let's do a quick preview before we wrap things up on this episode. Do we expect this sound wise and his songwriting maturation to be, I don't want to ask a loaded question. What do you expect sonically and when it comes from a songwriting perspective from Koe Wetzel?
I am basically expecting a noise complaint sonically speaking, which is basically the three songs you've heard now are very similar sonically, which is more of the rock and roll of noise complaint. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking more of lean more of like on an out on parole type writing, I guess would be the closest way to put it.
Do you think he's going to, what do you mean by that? Explain that.
The style of writing that he wrote, I guess it'd be like a slightly less party song, a little bit more introspect, a little more, I guess, country style, lyrically speaking, written songs. I guess it might be a little better.
Is that just you hoping, or are you saying that's evidenced in the current songs? Because outside of maybe a little bit of Good Die Young, I don't think
good
lines like don't you know, because you're a bitch and I hate you,
Yeah.
really lean into that country style of songwriting.
I don't think that's where I think for the most part, I don't expect it. If that's the case, it's going to be an album full of just bangers, basically. And
Yeah.
I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting Good Die Young to be more of the style of the rest of the album.
Right. What do you think, Kyle?
Well, what I'm hoping is he comes out with something almost just a natural progression off Harold Saul High, which I think is his best album. I really just
Andy just kind of looked at you funny, like, okay.
I have no idea because
It's hard to tell. I mean,
country
they've
and
been so
Western-
different each time. Yeah.
I mean, country and Western, and then Sunday and Monday, and then he came out with
Good Die
and I
Young.
was like, well, that's nothing like the other two. So
Yeah.
to say I do know, I'd be lying.
Before I give my thoughts, Carter, do you have anything with your limited?
I probably should have said what Kyle said. I probably should have said what Kyle said.
And he's
That's
like,
about
retweet.
it. Yeah, retweet.
The current Paul McCartney is a body double, and the real one died in the 70s.
All right. Conspiracy, classic rock Carter. All right. So, like, regarding Koe Wetzel, I don't necessarily, I guess I didn't phrase the question good enough. When it comes to the songwriting, what I'm expecting, I'm not expecting it to mimic something from his previous 3 releases. I was talking about, like, I guess in how mature of a songwriter he's going to be, like whether he's gotten better, whether he's showing his age a little bit more, where he's 28 now versus being 22. I think he's going to be a little bit more mature. I don't think he's going to be making a Jason Isbell Southeastern style record, because he's not Jason Isbell and they're two completely different artists. Like Koe is more of a, straight up in your face rock and roll kind of person like you used to have back in the old days. So there's a little bit of like playing to the brand that's going to be in the songwriting. But as evidenced in Good Die Young, I do think that he's going to have some more mature songs that's going to be kind of masqueraded a little bit as these in-your-face rock songs. Now, sonically speaking, I don't think it's going to really be anything like he's done before, because neither of his albums have sounded the same. They've had some commonalities, some shared thread between them when it comes to the sonic sounds you hear, but each one has been different. And I think this one is going to lean more into that kind of like a mix of his style of rock with a little bit more modern sounds. Because if you hear the intro to Sunday or Monday, those aren't like 90s and post-grunge rock sounds like he's done in the past. It kind of had a little bit of like modern kind of sounds mixed in with his already guitar in your face, loud wall of sound, like kind of sonic space that he occupies. So I expect it to lean really into that kind of like mix of classic Koe with some modern sounds, but it's going to be straight up rock and roll, brother.
And I guess back to what I said, I think Out on Parole was much more of a mature album than anything he put out afterwards.
Yeah. Maybe.
And I also think that Kyle's guess is probably right.
I think Noise Complaint is deceptively mature. I think that there's some songs on there that are not, but I mean, I think like, for instance, Shadow People and Broke Musician are deceptively mature. But yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, well, I mean, shit, we've kind of had like a free-for-all here. Is there anything y'all want to talk about before we wrap things up? Because we have a little bit of time.
I just can't believe he stole a song title from Tom Petty.
What?
Shadow People.
Oh, well, did he steal it? Technically, I mean, he didn't steal it, but technically I believe his Shadow People was after Tom Petty's, because Petty's was 14, his was 17, so yeah. Carter is all the time trying to say that everybody in new music sucks and only listen to classic rock, dude.
I mean, that's part of the character, but in all honesty...
You're breaking the fourth wall,
breaking kayfabe. It's fine. I honestly do like some of Koe Wetzel from what I've heard from you guys. I'm not like a devoted listener of his or anything.
Because it's new music and it's not from the 90s.
Look.
And he's still country.
Yeah, Carter still thinks he's country, because Carter's like a lot of people out there that if you have a twang in your voice, that's country music.
I didn't hear a deny.
He did.
Look, at least I'm not riding around with like a Salt Life sticker on my truck, and I've never even been to the beach or held a fishing rod.
But you have been to the beach.
And you have held a fishing rod.
Correct. I love to fish.
You also don't have a truck.
No, I don't.
You drive a Jeep Cherokee.
I drive a Jeep Cherokee. It does have all-wheel drive, and I do take it off-roading.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Gravel parking lot.
He takes, I take it off road. I parked in many a gravel parking lot in my day.
Way down mountain roads out in the middle of nowhere.
You see, you take it off road. Down mountain road is still on a freaking road.
That ain't much of a road.
It's still, the word is there. It's a road. This guy. If anyone needs to learn anything about Classic Rock Carter is that anytime he says anything, it's not true.
Always wrong.
That's the gimmick anyway.
Yeah, it's not the gimmick. That's you in real life, brother. Yeah.
Do we want to end with another dramatic reading?
Oh, that would be great. Yes, actually,
terrible pop country song.
Well, maybe should we do "Swerve" by Florida Georgia Line? You're making me swerve.
I'll look it up.
We got to think of something good. Right now, I'll just talk while these guys are looking.
I don't know that song.
I got it right.
You don't know "Swerve"?
I got it right here.
Well, just wait until these guys kind of think of something. But look, kind of proofread it, make sure it seems ridiculous enough that I can talk and fill some time because I do that. But yeah, like I said, Carter, as anyone remembers, the last time he was on the show, we had him read a Chase Rice song, "Ready, Set, Roll." And I found it hilarious. I don't know if anyone else did, but it was funny to me.
Oh, this is absolutely ridiculous.
Okay.
This is absolutely ridiculous.
Kane Brown.
Yes.
But which Kane Brown song?
Oh, that's so many.
Well, we'll hold that for next time.
Yeah, I got Kane Brown.
I got Swerve
because he's already got
it up right here.
We'll put a pin in the Kane Brown song for that one for next time because there's some ridiculous stuff. So it's just for let everybody know what's happening right now. We're going to close out this week's episode of Country and Cold Cans with Classic Rock Carter doing his infamous reading of "Swerve" by Florida Georgia Line.
It ain't the proof of the alcohol. Nah. That's got my back up against the wall. Staring at you. Watching you move. Yeah. And I can't even walk across the room without losing my cool. You got my world tipping and spinning, doing what you do. Yeah, you're making me swerve. Hey girl, what's your name? You must get it from your mama. Does your daddy let you date with all them curves? Curves, hey. Hold on, yeah. Where you learn to dance? Yeah, I'm a two-step up to you with that booty in them pants. Way you rolling in that body. Feel like I'm in a Bugatti. And I know I'm about to lose control. You making me swerve. Making me. Oh, Jesus. That was a lot of repeating of that really bad line. Yeah, I just really came to chill tonight, but you got me silly, girl. You got me high. 'Cause you so fine. I'm losing my mind. Yeah. And I can't even walk across the room without losing my cool. Woo. And girl, you changed the game. You got me changing lanes to hang with you. And that's a repeat of the chorus again.
All right, that's enough of that dribble. But bunch of swerving. It's a swerve. But that is a ridiculously garbage song. Like, who thought? Look up the next one. It's
the next one.
Break up in a small town by Sam. We're gonna get you to do that one too before we close.
Okay.
But yeah, that is a ridiculously bad song. Like that's worse than Ready Set Roll. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah, it's
way worse than Ready Set Roll.
It's really bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I did this one last time. I did this one the first time.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I did this one the first time.
Was it on the first episode? Was it on that episode, or was that one when we were just not recording?
I've done this one before.
You've done this one before.
We were drinking at D-Berry's.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do this one.
You didn't actually do that one on the air. You did that one just for fun.
Okay, this was the unaired pilot.
Yeah, we were giving Carter an audition on whether he could actually handle being on the air with such top tier podcast magicians such as us from Country and Cold Cans.
I'm just awestruck being here on this
you
podcast.
Ought to be. We're giving you a platform to be able to speak your
Absolutely.
nonsense. Whatever. All right, here's the last rendition from Classic Rock Carter. This one is "Break Up in a Small Town" by Alabama native Sam Hunt.
I knew I'd see her around. I'd be at some party. She'd show up and I'd be walking out. Or across some parking lot, hiding behind her sister. I'd look up. She'd be at the red light beside me. And in that white Maxima with the sticker on the back, I'd act like I didn't see her. We'd pay at the same pumps, flip through the same stations, and slow down for the same curves. Run around with the same crowds. We just needed some time. She could get on with her life, and I'd get on with mine. Thought I would be fine, but maybe not. I knew she'd find a way to get over me, but I never thought that she would get down with somebody I know. I guess that's just how it goes when you break up in a small town. I see our friends and they put on a show like they don't want me to know. So they give me the go around. But there's only so many streets, so many lights. I swear it's like I can't even leave my house. I should have known all along. You got to move or move on when you break up in a small town.
Lord have mercy. Carter gave that one some gusto, like he's reading this angry prose from like a poetry reading or something.
Slam poetry. Now we all have to snap.
All right, so for this ridiculously all over the place episode of Country and Cold Cans, I'm Logan, sitting here with Kyle, Andy, and Classic Rock Carter. Woo! Woo! We'll see you next time.